YouTube, it's me, Neville, again. I'm back with another personal finance chat. Every time I get paid, I get really inspired to talk about personal finance. And I think part of it is I am very clear about some of the visions that I have of what my future will look like. And today's topic, I want to talk about retirement and what I'm doing today to help set me up for a very successful retirement as I get older. I probably have about 20, 25 more years left of the workforce, and I want to make sure that I'm set up very well, don't have to rely on anyone, and that I've made myself a great future in the retirement years. And so I have 5 tips that I believe has helped me stay focused on the retirement goals, and I hope it helps someone else out there. If you're interested in personal finance, lifestyle vlogs, all things that make your life better, please stick around and consider subscribing and liking the video. I really appreciate it. Tip number 1 is to always contribute a minimum of 15% to your retirement account. So if you have a full-time job and you're contributing to your 403b or 401k plan and your employer matches, please contribute where you could at least get the match. If you don't have access to a 401k, there are other retirement plans available out there, but I have been consistently putting in 15% year after year for many years, and I'm going to tell you the compounding effect is real. It is definitely real, what people talk about out there. It's been really great to see. Now, there was a year that I did have a hardship withdrawal, and that was the 2008-9 era with the Great Recession. And that was probably a bad move on my end, but I ended up paying it off. It was interest-free payment off of my paycheck, and I needed it to do that at that time. But it probably impacted me today, but it was so long ago that I'm over it. And there are some years that I feel I made it up because I did do like a year of 20%, which is crazy to think now that I think about it. And I also did a 16% and a 17%. I think I was trying to do 1% increments. However, I'm currently at 15% because I do want to be careful with the current economic climate that we're in and inflation. But if you, again, just contributing year after year has really paid off, and I hope it pays off for you too. So stay focused. The next thing I want to talk about is number 2 is no car payments. So I used to have a car payment with a Mazda 3. This was many, many moons ago. I remember it being $283 a month, and I was like, oh yeah, I could afford that. My mindset had shifted to I'm going to pay cash the next time I buy a car, and I ended up saving money for many years. The way I did that was I paid off my Mazda 3 and I saved. I literally drove it for I think an additional 2 or 3 more years, and I ended up having enough cash to pay for a used car. A friend gave me a tip to go back like 3 years, so it's not super new but not super old. And I followed that advice. I paid a car in cash, and I've been driving that car, gosh, for 9 years now without a car payment. So I'm only paying for the car insurance, and that has been really nice. I'm currently about 112,000 miles, so I think my mindset is shifting to like, okay, we're back to the years of saving again because I'm paying cash for the next car. Like, I know that the cost of cars are so expensive right now. However, now that I know I have some time to save, I'm going to be focusing on that. Having no car payments for many years has really contributed to my retirement funding. Number 3, keeping expenses low. So obviously housing is very expensive, and I've always rented at a rate that I knew that I could afford. So that was really nice. And as I saved up for a down payment and got a condo, I also wanted to make sure that I didn't overspend and was house broke. I'm realistic. I like buying good food. I like going out with friends. I like traveling. So I always wanted to make sure that my housing was at a rate that would allow me to live my life, but also to have a savings. So that was really important to me and will continue to be important to me. I do check my finances pretty consistently, actually every day. I just kind of log on and make sure there's no weird transactions. It keeps me motivated, and I also work on a budget every Sunday. So I have a spreadsheet, and I just make sure that I cut expenses where I can. I remember a shift in my mindset, and I haven't had cable in so many years. And I am really thankful I made that decision because it really was a triggering moment for me where I'm really cautious about what I spend money on. The 4th tip I have is to live debt free. I was horrible with that. So I came out of the college years with about $20,000 in college debt, and this was many years ago. So if you take that with inflation, it would be a lot more crazier. But I also had about $20,000 of credit card debt at a very high percentage. I think it was like averaging 29% interest, and it was horrible. And it took me a while to get that free. But once I remember I had that mentality of I'm never going back there again. Now, have I been perfect this entire years after that experience? No. However, I could say that I am in full control, and I literally pay off my credit cards every month because it's important to me to not have debt. And I luckily have been able to build savings. So if I ever like get in the hole, I'm not charging it on a credit card. I just pull out a savings. Ideally, those are like emergency situations we can't control. But I'm also very careful. Like if I get invited to things and I know that I've been spending too much money, I say no. It's really easy for me to say no. And I think my friends have realized that I do participate where I can, but there are some priorities in my life. And I think this mentality and this healthy habit of just living debt free has really paid off. And my fifth and final tip and advice is to focus on increasing your salary every single day. Now, there are different ways to make more money. Obviously, you want to focus on doing a great job at your full time job. Hopefully, you can earn promotions. I do work in a bonus structure where I do get options to bonus. And I love that because I am in control of that on top of my base. So that's been really appreciative. But I also have like little side streams such as Survey Junkie. I do surveys like once a day. I pay out myself once a month, and then that has been nice. I also have one credit card that allows me to get cash back, and I use that in a certain way. I try to focus on accounts that have dividend redistribution, so through my E-Trade account and other avenues, just to make sure that my money is working for me. Putting my money in a CD, certificate of deposit, money markets, so that your money is just not going to waste, right? And I think if there's opportunities to make more money, I remember taking on side gigs. Even though I was working and full time, I would do Uber Eats when I knew I had a vacation. And I remember paying off the pool party at Vegas just by doing one Uber Eats ride once a month, one day per month while I was at work. I did it during my lunch break. And I always remind myself, if I'm able to work, go to work. I feel fortunate enough that I can do jobs and I'm capable of doing jobs. And I'd rather just put the sacrifice in now so that, in the future, I can really enjoy life after work. We have to work, right? Unless something fantastic happens like the lottery. However, most of us have to work. And if we can take on extra shifts or work, I would say go for it and do it. Now, I do have a work life balance. I do believe in making sure that you live your life and not living to work. However, I do take opportunity in, streams of income where I can. So those are my 5 tips to help me stay focused on retirement. I hope it helps you with focusing on retirement. And I'll be back with another personal finance video in the near future. But thanks for watching. Take care. Bye.